Okay, so the project that I'm looking to do is to recreate the retail dashboard of Vend inside of Google Data Studio. Now, if we have a look at the Google Data Studio, you will have access to individual exports of data from the appropriate locations, which include all sales data. So I'll just wait for this to load and I'll show you. And then I need you to rebuild the retail dashboard of Vend inside of Google Data Studio. So if we have a look at this, let me just go back to a time when okie dokie. Don't seem to be able to get a calendar up here, so I'm going to go all the way back. This is going to be a little bit painful if I can't change the calendar. Okie dokie. Let me just try refresh and see if I can change the calendar here. Okay, so we'll go back to say somewhere like this. So you can see from here that we've got the ability to organize it by day, week, or month. So if we look at it by day, we can see just the day, what happened on that day. If we look at it by week, we can see the week date range there, and month is obviously the month date range there. Now, if we look at that by day, week, or month, we can then see the breakdown by per store location. So we can see Caloundra, Noosa, Carindale, Springfield, etc. You can see all of those locations. And you can see there, it's 6% on the previous day, or on the previous week, or on the previous month. So you're able to see that information there. So that's really useful. Now that's the retail dashboard. So you need to be able to recreate this. With all of that information there. Now, if you scroll down, you can see the products sold, the highest amount of products sold, or the revenue. So you can sort it by revenue, or by items sold, or by discount. So there's all of that there. And then you've got the top salespeople. So sales by person. I'm not too worried about salespeople. That may be something that you can pull in from the data, maybe not. So I'll give you the appropriate data, but you do have there is enough data and there is the appropriate data for you to build this. I know it is possible. I've built a very basic level myself. So you will have access to the appropriate data, but you need to be able to build this. Now, if we have a look into the sales report here, we can then do a couple of different things by sales summary, etc. So the retail dashboard was part 1 or milestone 1. So if you complete that, you'll be paid for that. Then milestone 2 is going to be the sales report. So in here, we've got the ability to select the report type. Now I'm not too worried about too many of these. Sales summary is the main one. What I can do is I can select a date range. Okay, I want to look at the last 4 weeks, and I want to look at that date range in 4 weeks from, let's go 3rd of April 2017, for example. Now in there I can see the totals, and it's showing me for the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, and the 24th, because that's my week. I can remove that filter, that's my week, so 4 weeks. Now what I can also do is I can break that down using the filters to say, okay, let's just look at Noosa only. Now, it doesn't have to be done using filters. We can just do it by store location. So if we go IT Shop Noosa outlet, you'll see it's then broken that down. So the 3rd and the 10th of April went there, and then the 17th and the 24th, it shows us those weeks. Now, we could also do it by day, break down the last 4 days from that. And again, it will show you the days there. Now, you've also got the ability to do a outlet. So rather than filtering it by Noosa, we can just do an outlet, and it'll show me all the different outlets, how much we earned. So revenue, cost of goods sold, gross profit margin, etc. So, you have a bit of leniency here to kind of build something similar. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but specifically what I want to do with these reports is to be able to easily see a daily, I can see here, okay, Caloundra did this much today, this much that day, this much that day, that much that day. Now, you can see here we've got revenue, cost of goods, gross profit margin, and tax. That's definitely the information I want to see. Now, even if I have to sort it by, only show me 1 day, and then I can just see the total amount, and I can see that total amount and revenue obviously match up, and then I've got, cost of goods, gross profit margin, and tax. That's basically what I want to see there. For the outlet report. Now, registers, I'm not too worried about. Customers, I don't care about. Products is a nice report because I can, based on a certain date range, let's say for the last 2 weeks, 4 weeks. 4 weeks from the 3rd of April, I can see, and you can see there, just by the way, when I do that, you can see there, 3rd of April to the 30th of April, that's the particular date range I've selected. And I can also use date range here, so I'm happy to just use a date range. But the point is I can say, okay, from the 1st of April to the 30th of April, let's just say 2017 instead of 2018. apparently not going to let me do that. It's a bit odd. Okay, anyways, date range is being a bit funny. Let's just say 4 weeks from the 30th of April 2017. Apply that. I can see sorted by, whichever bits I want, the revenue. So the highest revenue, or I can resort that by cost of goods sold, or mainly what I want is gross profit. So I can see, okay, the thing that's making us the most is an on-site PC install. So that made us the most. Then followed by a diagnostic, then followed by labor. So for that period, I can see the highest gross profit items. So that's the real reporting that I want to see there. That's exactly what I want to look for. Now, I can sort this or measure by revenue. So I can say, okay, well, gross profit is actually how I want to measure it. And that's going to look at the gross profit as the first unit of measure there. So that's fine, not too worried about that, but that's what I want in terms of the product view. Brand, supplier, product type. Well, I don't really care too much about brand and supplier. If you can do it, great. If not, don't care. Product type, phone parts. So I can see the highest revenue is phone parts, followed by labor, followed by desktop computer parts, followed by no type. So again, product type, I want to be able to do that. For a certain range, I want to be able to filter by that. Now, I'm not too worried about these elements here, knowing, how much we did on the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, the 24th. When I'm looking for something like a product type report, I mainly want to see something like this. I want to see the revenue. Now, tags don't care about, users don't care about, customers, yep, don't care about any of that. So basically everything I've just covered is basically what I want to be able to report on. So my name is Braden. I'm looking for somebody keen to be able to build this in Google Data Studio. You can see over here I've already built a little bit myself, so I do actually know what I'm doing with Google Data Studio. So please make sure you know what you're doing, because I don't want anybody who doesn't know what they're doing. Now, if I use this, what it's going to do is it's going to pull the data in from the spreadsheets that I've attached. You can see there it's given me some figures. Now if I go to a comparison, oh, didn't let me go to comparison, but there is actually another page there, so we'll have a look at the comparison page. I've already built something similar. Let me just go back to the first page and change that data range. I've already built something similar. Nope, it's not going to let me do it. Well, that's fine. So that I can see things like, today, the revenue, the GP, the staff overall. It's very easy to build this stuff in Data Studio, so I'm sure somebody who knows what they're doing is going to be able to do it. And the data that you will have access to, I will give you a sample of it in the listing, but the data that you'll have access to will be live imported. And if I can find that data here, if I can remember where it was, resources, manage and edit data sources, there we go. Cool, it'll be from an actual spreadsheet. So you'll see things like, day, month, year, revenue, staff, overheads, GP, etc. So all of this information will be in there. So I'll give you a copy of the spreadsheet so that you guys can figure out how to map the data yourself. And if you need additional data, I can look at exporting that. So if you do have any questions, do let me know, but please make sure you have experience working with data, and do not reply if you don't know what you're talking about or you don't know how to do or build this, because I'm only hiring somebody that's experienced, so you're just going to be wasting yours and my time if you don't know what you're doing. Look forward to working with you, and thank you for watching this video.